Hey guys, Jesus here, and today we are going to be reacting to another Piers Morgan video, where the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic, I guess, they're debating wokeness. I think this one should be a little bit more interesting than the last one, because I felt like the last video was, like, the Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker, they felt a little bit passive, where, like, they weren't really, like, they weren't coming out, like, MCU, woke, 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 blah, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, blah. And I get it. They were probably like, okay, let's not reveal our power level just yet, but that's what we want, okay? We want the content, so I'm glad that this time they're having a straight up debate, okay? I want to see them own the libs, epic style. I don't know, it probably won't be, it probably won't be too extreme. It'll probably be still be pretty civil, I would imagine. I don't know. Hopefully the conversation's interesting. Let's get into it.
Let's start with Disney. There's a huge civil war raging with Disney. We're trying to work out what is going wrong.
Disney are the DEI department.
I mean, like, they're just making bad movies. That's what's going on. And as far as in terms of the Civil War, it's like the way that I kind of view that situation is because basically, if you don't know, they're like Disney investors that are like, we need to take control over more board seats or whatever. And then like Bob Iger, the current CEO, and other people within the company, they're like, no, we don't like you guys have no idea what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to making movies. So like, nah, we're good. We're gonna figure it out. And so me as a viewer, right? Like, I don't really care, like who's in the board seats. I just want good movies. And so when I listen to them talk, like when I listen to Bob Iger talk, he's like, yeah, we had a huge quality or quantity over quality mindset, for the past few years in the MCU. We were really trying to like flood the market in terms of Disney Plus is concerned. We were making way too many shows, and so we're really going to scale back, focus on quality again. And I'm like, I listen to that and I'm like, hey, at least he's like, first of all, admitting that like his movies have been bad. I mean, that has to count for something, I feel like. And then when you look at like the investor guys that are like looking to take over, they're like, why did we need to have a Marvel movie that was all women? And I'm like, that's like the main criticism of the MCU that you have? It's like, first of all, sir, an all-female MCU movie doesn't exist. It's a fake movie that you just invented. Like it was like do I think that like the current people in charge at Disney, like, do I think they're like the most competent and that they like know exactly what to do? I mean, clearly not, right? Judging by although to be fair, like this does get into the larger discussion of how the CEO that used to be there a couple years ago, he got fired because he was doing such a bad job, and the one that's there now is the one that was there during like the golden era of the MCU and whatnot, and of Pixar and all that. So I mean, yes, like the Bob Iger is clearly like a competent CEO of the company, but I guess what I'm saying is that like the guys that are like trying to take over, and by the way, it already failed, so like who cares? But yeah, like those guys, they're like they're not like, whatever you may think of Bob Iger, like Nelson Peltz, that guy should not have more decision making power at Disney, because at least judging by how he talks about the problems with Disney, he clearly has no idea what the hell he's talking about. But anyways. Hopefully they don't just repeat everything that I just talked about.
People want to go see diverse films, but they also want to see things.
We used to joke about they're just checking boxes when they're literally checking boxes.
And they've stopped thinking about storytelling because they actually look down on the audience.
The woke brigade.
What the fuck? Is this like a 3v1 against that guy? Because I remember that lady from the last video. is like the one black guy like the only guy on like the woke team? What the fuck, Piers? You could have balanced it out. This seems weird. What the fuck? Oh no. Oh god, hold on.
Building.
They've got nowhere to go at this point.
They're just there for identity politics.
The House of Mouse is falling down. Disney's last 4 big releases have bombed at the box office. The company is currently no longer Hollywood's #1 film studio. Recent box office takings show even Marvel has lost its, Marvel. And critics say the reason is simple. Disney prioritized identity politics over entertainment, pushing messages audiences don't want or need to hear. So have they got a...
I just like don't agree with this. Like, I don't blame like the messages that they were trying to tell for like the reason that the movies have been bad lately. Like, you can tell a message but still make a good movie. It's just like weird it's weird, I feel like, to like obsess over like the message of a movie over just being like, this is the script issues that the movie has. This is why the cinematography is bad. Like, it's just I don't know. Like I like, let's say, oh god, hold on. Let me see. How should I word this? Let's say that somebody makes like a Holocaust movie, and it ends up being bad. It would be really weird for somebody to be like, this director is like way too focused on spreading like the message of the Holocaust over making a good movie. Like, it's just weird to think that like there are people out there that aren't trying to make good movies. You know what I mean? It's like a guy can make a Holocaust movie. Maybe it ends up being bad, but it's not because he made a Holocaust movie. It's because he just made a bad movie. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a bizarre mindset, in my opinion, to be like against messaging in movies. Like, what? It's so weird.
A point. We'll discuss all that and more. 2 titans of YouTube are returning to Uncensored by popular demand. Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. I mean, otherwise known as Will and Gary, but I prefer your stage names, guys. We're going to stick to those. Also here to debate is Uncensored contributor Esther Krakow and the author for The Case for Cancel Culture, Ernest Owens, which is one of the worst named titles of a book, Ernest, I could ever envisage, but we'll let that pass.
I will say, I've seen this guy in like other videos. I don't think this guy is going to do a good job. Like, representing the quote-unquote woke side. I don't even know if I would consider myself woke. I am an enlightened thinker, okay? I think both extremes are bad. Take that. Haha.
Start with Disney, because there's a huge civil war raging with Disney, with board members, investors, all trying to work out what is going wrong with the recent series of flops, because Disney is not used to having flops. Nelson Peltz, who's a serious investor in Disney, has criticized Disney's woke strategy in an interview with the Financial Times. He said, "Why do I have to have a Marvel movie that's all women? Not that I have anything against women, but why do I have to do that? Why do I need an all-black cast?" What do you think of this? I mean, critical...
I love the guy's fucking facial expressions.
Marvel movie that's all women.
The guy on the right.
Against women, but why do I have to do that? Why
It's
do I
like, why does he-
black cast?
He looks like he smelled a fart or
What do you
something.
think of this? I mean, critical drinker. There's no doubt Disney's in a pretty poor run at the moment. How much of that is down to woking up the movies?
I mean, I think it's definitely a factor, but it's part of a much bigger picture that incorporates other issues like a general decline in storytelling quality, a prioritization of quantity over quality.
Oh, wait, what? Is Critical Drinker gonna have a is he just gonna like did he fucking travel to the future and steal my fucking take? Okay, well,
And yeah, like delving too much into identity politics, which by their nature are divisive. Of course they are. And so all of those different.
again, okay, let's actually sit down and think about this for a second. Like I'm looking at like the last like. Hold on, you know what? Let me look up the last let me look up like the last few MCU movies. The MCU films list. There's like a Wikipedia page. List of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Okay. Let's look at like phase. Let's look at phase or the Multiverse Saga. Black Widow. Was there like that's actually like I'm okay. Was that movie woke? I'm trying to remember. What was like? How was that movie woke? I don't even know if it was woke. I honestly don't remember. Was the bad guy like a sexist? I don't know if he was. So I don't think that one was woke. Shang-Chi, was that woke? I'm honestly trying to remember if there was like a woke storyline in that movie. I don't think there was. Eternals, was that one woke? I think it was mostly just wasn't it just like, hey, you guys I guess there was like the gay couple. Is being gay is woke, right? I think that counts as woke. Cuz I guess you could say like if Black Widow having female leads, I guess that counts as woke. Is Asian people, is that woke? I don't know, like Eternals, I guess it was diverse? Is that woke? Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. That one wasn't woke, was it? I don't think so. Unless you count them like race swapping MJ as woke. I'm trying to get in their minds, by the way. Okay, I guess okay, Zendaya was race swapped. I guess that's woke. Sure. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't think this one was woke. I don't think there's really anything you can point to in this one about it being woke. I don't know. Thor Love and Thunder. Is this woke? Is giving Jane Thor powers, does that count as being woke? Is it because women strong bad? Is that the wokeness of this movie? I think so. I think that's all we can really give it. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I mean, this one definitely had some like woke elements, like colonialism and stuff like that. You know, I distinctly remember like the black people calling the white people colonizers or whatever. Like this one was definitely woke. I would argue less woke than the first one because the main plot of the story was really just about like grieving over T'Challa. Like that was like the real thrust of the story. And Shuri not going down a dark path. Whereas like the ultimate plot of the first movie is about Wakanda abandoning like the like other countries and like and yeah, like Wakanda like sequestering themselves being a bad thing. So like the first one I would argue is woker, but this one is still pretty woke. Okay, Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania. What was woke about this one? I don't think there was anything woke in this one, was there? I'm actually trying to think. I can't. Again, unless we if we count like women superheroes, I guess that's woke. The daughter was doing woke things at the beginning of the movie. I think she was like an activist or something. I think that might count. There's a little bit of wokeness in there. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Is this film woke? I mean, you could argue that there are elements of like animal rights activism in it. I actually consider this movie to be like anti-religious, because I don't know. I felt like with the bad guy in the movie, they were like God was like trying to talk about how like God like kills, does genocides whenever he finds people to be imperfect. I found the parallels there between like Christianity and the bad guy in that movie. So I don't know if that counts as woke, but I mean, I will say I did feel like James Gunn was trying to say some shit with this movie. So we'll say this one counts as being woke. I don't know. The Marvels. The Marvels is such a funny movie because it's like the poster child for why woke stuff is bad. But unless you consider just the fact that it's like women superheroes, there's nothing woke in this movie. The first Captain Marvel, absolutely, right? There's a lot of like misogyny in that movie. There's like, I'm a woman and I'm empowered. Yes, yay, yes, queen, slay. There's none of that in the Marvels, by the way. The Marvels is absolutely not a woke movie. Okay, and then we haven't seen any of the other ones, obviously, that are coming up. So I look at this slate of Marvel movies, and you really gotta stretch to call like these movies woke. I feel like unless we're saying that like female characters, female superheroes is woke now, or I guess like majority black and minority cast, is that woke? I guess you could say that about Black Panther Forever. Like, unless you get like real or like majority Asian cast in the case of Shang-Chi, like you have to get really like insane, I feel like, to like criticize the wokeness in these movies. Because I'm pretty sure the main problem with the MCU is that the content is bad. I feel like that's the main problem. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Factors working together have slowly undermined their creative output to the point where all of their major franchises are failing. Star Wars is kind of a disaster at the moment. The Marvel Cinematic Universe that used to be this money printing behemoth is.
I mean, it's still doing decently well. Like, I do think to some extent the MCU. I think to some extent the MCU is the like there's definitely been a decline. Like the fact that the Marvels bombed that hard is bad. The fact that Ant-Man and the Lost Quantumania didn't make more money, like that's bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's like it's still like Guardians Volume 3, right? Before that, like movies like Black Panther made a lot of money. Thor: Love and Thunder made a lot of money. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness made a lot of money. So, like, don't get me wrong, like they need to course correct for sure. But I don't think that the state of the MCU is necessarily, from a financial standpoint, as dire.
Churned out flop after flop in recent years, and even their own, their own unique animation movies like Wish,
Haunted
Haunted
Mansion
Mansion, yeah.
flop.
Yeah.
Pixar flops all over the place.
Yes, exactly. All of those different aspects of their creative output have flopped, and they've got nowhere to go at this point. Clearly, something has to change. What they're doing is not working anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Nerdrotic, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, a comic book tale featuring a strong female lead. The Marvels, a comic book movie featuring a diverse cast of strong female leads. Elemental, Disney's first animation featuring their first strong non-binary lead. All flops.
Wait, what? Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what? Wait, what? Did he say Elemental features a non-binary lead? What? Was that a thing? I don't remember that from the movie.
Lead. The Marvels, a comic book movie featuring Hulk, Attorney at Law, a comic book tale featuring a strong female lead. The Marvels, a comic book movie featuring a
Also, I don't know. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no fucking idea. Was the She-Hulk a flop? Like, did it get like decent viewership? I don't even. God, I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea how to like judge like streaming success. Like when people are like, or when you'll see like headlines that are like, this streaming show got 5 million watch hours. I have no idea if that's good or bad. Like She-Hulk ratings. Like, were they bad? I don't even... Is there just like an article talking about... I don't want to know about... I don't mean like the fucking ratings in terms of quality. Viewership. That's what I want to know. According to Nielsen's ranking of the most watched streaming original series from the week of August 2022 to 29th via the Hollywood Reporter, She-Hulk Attorney at Law ranked 9th with 390 million watch minutes. I don't know if... Is that bad? According to Nielsen's rating of the most watched streaming original series... 5.4 million plays based on the total runtimes of 68 minutes across the first 2 installments. So does that mean like basically like 5.74 million households watched it? I wish they need to say if that's good or bad, because I don't know. Okay. I mean, listen, it's obviously not like clearly it's not as good as like it's 9th, so it's not as good as these other shows. But I don't know if this counts as like a bomb or like a flop. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fucking know. I have no idea.
Diverse cast of strong female leads. Elemental, Disney's first animation featuring their first strong non-binary lead. All flops.
What the fuck? Wait, who was the non? Hold on, is this real? I don't... What the... Hold on, Elemental non-binary? Actor Kai Ava Hauser, who is also non-binary and uses they/them pronouns, announced on social media that Lake Ripple identifies as non-binary. What the fuck? Really? I mean, listen, is that kind of cringy? Undoubtedly. I had no fucking idea that was a thing when I watched the movie. Like, he's just a dude in the movie. I don't... I guess this is real. Yeah, Lake Ripple is the guy, right? Lake Ripple. Yeah, dude, I had no fucking idea this guy was non-binary. Oh, wait. Oh, is this him as a child? Or is this like his brother? Dude, Oh, maybe is Lake Ripple the... Oh, he's like his family member. He's not the guy. Oh, wait, it's not even the main character. Hold on.
Maybe Disney's a comic book movie featuring a diverse cast of strong female leads. Elemental, Disney's first animation featuring their first strong non-binary lead. All flopped. Maybe.
Yeah, he wasn't a lead. Oh, okay, yeah. Lake Ripple is the younger sibling of Wade Ripple. He's not a main character. Also, Elemental didn't flop. It is like it's like a movie that's famous because like it started off as a flop, but then word got around that it's actually a pretty good movie, and it ended up making like a decent return at the box office. Elemental box office. So I mean, he's just wrong about this one, like flat out. Like 496 million is not bad for an original animated movie.
Maybe a coincidence, maybe not. People who are intent on attacking Disney saying, well, this is because they're pursuing a strategy that's not based on just producing great movies. They're pursuing a strategy trying to appease the woke brigade who will come hunting for them if they deviate from the woke worldview. Your thoughts?
The woke brigade that's within their building, right? So,
Right.
We see all these third-party companies in gaming that's going off right now. But like Disney is that third-party company. They are the DEI department. Lucasfilm is the DEI department, and now Marvel is too. And it was really easy for comic book fans to figure this out because we read the comic books. She-Hulk, for example, was a great comic book. It was reverent. It broke the fourth wall. That the famous run is by John Byrne, and I love the comic book. She-Hulk was a member of the Fantastic Four. This is one of my favorite female Marvel characters, and they destroyed her because they don't know what they're doing. I did a clip in one of my videos of all of the writers for most of the Disney Plus, stating that they didn't know anything about the comics and they didn't read the comics. And that's part of the reason, because they're just there for identity politics. We used to joke about they're just checking boxes when they're literally checking boxes now.
Right.
Which kills creativity.
Ernest, you'd be sitting there grimacing.
I mean, so here's the thing, right? Like, you can still make a good show without like knowing anything about the source material. Like, fucking Andor. The guy who made Andor does not give a flying fuck about about Star Wars. Like, this is well known. And he made the best thing that Star Wars has ever made, right? Like, I don't know. I'm not somebody that really like gets worked up over like if somebody like doesn't know the source material, because even then, like, just make a good show just make a show that's good on its own. So I don't know that. And then like, because the other point that he's bringing up of like were they just hired in order to check boxes? Who the like, I don't know, like that's just like, you get into like weird mind reading unless there's like some kind of like proof or something of somebody saying that they outwardly did this. How is anybody even supposed to know that they weren't just hired because of their talent? Like, I don't know. Well, and also to be clear as well, I do think that part of the reason is that it's because Marvel Studios ramped up the quantity of projects that they're making. I mean, undoubtedly, like the less, like, you're not going to be able to get the most talented people or your most talented people for each project, you know? And then, like, is it that they weren't talented, or is it that they had to work on super tight deadlines? Because that's definitely the case for like the VFX. Like, when you look at like the VFX of a lot of the recent Marvel stuff, the main reason why it's bad is because of tight deadlines. Like that's like, I don't think that they're like hiring untalented VFX workers. I don't think that that's the case. But yeah, it's obvious that they're like, sir, we need more time to finish She-Hulk. She looks like Fiona from Shrek. And then the executives are like, "Sir, we have a mandate from fucking Bob Chapek. We have to get this content out. I don't care, ship it." You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Like, I think that it's probably... I think that there's an element of, like, hey, people make bad things. I mean, sometimes it happens. I think for sure, like, it has to be the case that, like, having a quantity over quality mindset is bad. Is it possible that people were hired not because of their talent, but because they're a woman or because they're a minority? I mean, sure, but I don't know that we really have, like, proof of that at the end of the day, right? Like, is there maybe proof that they, like, opted to go with, like, a minority people? I mean, that is true, because, like, companies do have these policies, but, like, do we have any proof that they went, sorry, sheep. Do we have any proof that they went, well, this person is a talentless piece of shit, but we're going to hire them anyways, because they're black? I don't know that, I should be clear, that's specifically what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if there's proof of that, because, I mean, to be clear, there are, like, what's the term that I'm looking for? I can't remember the term, but there. I mean, I like, it is a thing that companies have, like, these policies of inclusion and whatever.
I mean, it's clearly demonstrably not working, this strategy, and I've just looking from the outside, look at it.
Oh, and you know what's another thing that nobody ever brings up, but I think is a massive. I think is a massive. Is a massive aspect to all this. The mere existence of Disney Plus. I think that another reason why their movies have been flopping is because Disney did too good of a job synergizing their branding. Like, I remember, I actually first realized this when with Elemental, because I remember my brother-in-law, we were just, like, talking about movies or whatever, and I was like, oh yeah, I watched Elemental, that was pretty good. And he was like, what he told me was, he was like, yeah, you know, I watched a trailer for that, it looks cute. Yeah, I'll check it out when it comes out on Disney Plus. And I was like, damn, that's fascinating. Because I don't know that the other companies really have their streaming services synergized like that. Because when you think of a Disney movie, it immediately goes Disney Plus, right? Like, I don't think that, and I think that Disney is probably the company that people associate, that, like, general audiences associate most with the studio that produces the contents. Like, I don't think that most people go Game of Thrones, Warner Brothers, or The Matrix, Warner Brothers, or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Sony. I don't know that that's how, like, general audiences' minds work. Obviously, like, if you're watching this, you probably know where, like, a lot of this content is made, but I don't know if people in the general audiences know that much. So, like, I don't think that, like, people go Barbie, HBO Max as, like, an option of, like, that's where it's gonna go. I don't think people go, like, Oppenheimer, Peacock. You know, I don't think that connection is there. But I think that immediate thing of, like, Elemental is coming to Disney Plus. I can wait for it to go to Disney Plus. You know, The Marvels, Disney Plus. Like, that's gonna be there eventually. I think that that's a pretty big factor. I honestly do. Now, is the fact that they're making bad movies, like mediocre bad movies, is that, like, the ultimate killer? Probably, right? Like, I think if you make great movies that, like, compels people to go out to watch them in the theater. Like, that's obviously the ultimate thing that would solve the issue. But I also think that that's a big factor that nobody really considers or ever like brings up.
Have been too concerned about identity politics, too concerned about appeasing their very woke workforce. And they should have just stuck to doing what Disney does best, make great family films and make a ton of cash.
So there's a lot of misinformation, and I think the issue is that no one here is actually really reading the real strategy. The problem is several things. There's a missing implication. There has been arguably films that were super successful. Black Panther had a predominantly black cast, not all black cast, and made $1.3 billion at the box office and had a really successful sequel. The reality is that when you start saying woke or DEI, there's another implication there where you're implying in many ways that what is the opposite of lack of diversity in those films? It's feeding to an all-white cast or majority white cast and the lack of diversity. I don't think that that's what Disney's trying to do, and I don't think that's what Hollywood should do because it doesn't reflect the society we live in. However, what's missing in this conversation is that the reason why a lot of these films are not doing as well is because many of them are spinoffs, sequels, or there's just overall fatigue in the market where people want original stories. So I do think that rather than try to make...
I don't think that's it either. I think it's just... I think you make bad movies. People pick up on it. I think that's it. I honestly do. I people don't give audiences due credit. Like, it takes them a while, but they will give up on franchises. Like, if they get bad, right? Like, if you look at the DCEU, people just gave up on DC even before like the superhero fatigue conversation started. People had given up on the DCEU. Like, going all the way back to like the first Justice League movie, you know what I mean? So like, and like, you look at like Transformers, like those movies were making billions of dollars. At some point, audiences went, okay, yeah, you guys are not cooking with these movies. We don't care anymore. Like, I don't think that people are sick of franchises. I think if like, listen, if what's the next movie that's coming out? What is it? Fucking if Deadpool and Wolverine comes out and is awesome, and then Captain America: Brave New World is awesome, and then Spider-Man 4 is awesome, and Fantastic Four is awesome, and we get like a great fucking like X-Men movie at some point. Like, the MCU can absolutely come back. I think people are generally speaking okay with franchises. I think so.
Make this a culture war, which really it isn't. It's more of a change in taste from the audiences and what they want. Let's keep it 100. Pixar has not really made too many original films that have really been able to be fully marketed. And there's been an oversaturation of them. There's an oversaturation of Marvel. But if you look at...
Oh, by the way, when you look at like Pixar as well, Disney fucking like, again, it goes back to Disney Plus. For like 3 Pixar movies in a row, they just put them out on Disney Plus. It started with Soul, then Luca, then Turning Red. They didn't even do the whole like Disney premium on demand bullshit that they did with Black Widow and Mulan. They were just like, bleh, like, here it is, folks. Pixar is now a Disney Plus studio. That's what we are. We're not like a premiere. We don't make premiere films that you spend money to see in the theater. We're just a Disney Plus studio. You know what I mean? Then you look at fucking what is this animal here? Is this a cat? I think he's trapped. Hold on, let me free him. Yeah, they just threw Pixar into the fucking Disney Plus wolves. And yeah, people were like, and then when they're like, hey guys, I know we conditioned you to watch Pixar movies on Disney Plus, but come and watch Lightyear, please. It's like, I think people were quick to be like, well, we've been watching these on Disney Plus. Like, I don't know. And then not only, I mean, obviously Lightyear had a bunch of other problems where it was just it was a very mid movie, and it's like, what the fuck even is that movie? Is it a Toy Story movie? Is it not a Toy Story movie? But I think in large part, it's like, yeah, people were like, what? Like we've been watching your Pixar movies on Disney Plus. Why are you now telling me to go to the theater for it? I think that's a big element to it as well. Hi, Elemental. Oh, whoa.
At other films elsewhere, there has seemed to be a trend of liking diversity, TV shows, streaming platforms. And so this seems to be a little bit intellectually dishonest to frame it in this way. I think there's another way to look at it.
I'll come to Esther in one second. I mean, I would just say, my favorite movie the last few years was Top Gun Maverick, because it just did what it said on the tin.
I'm sorry, Piers. Listen, I'm not saying there's anything wrong to like what you like, because Piers Morgan is like he feels like the ultimate normie, where he's like, it's like every 5 seconds he's mentioning like Top Gun Maverick or some shit. I'm like, okay, dude.
Right? The guys behave like guys, the women behave like women, bad guys got slotted, and the good guys were heroes. I mean, that used to be how movies got made in Hollywood. They celebrated the basics in life. Now they're too busy worrying about what the basics in life actually are. Esther, I want to play a clip from Southpaw.
Wasn't there like a badass female pilot in that movie? Like, I don't know, like fucking, like, again, if we're literally just saying that, like, because a lot of the movies that he mentioned, he's like, the Marvels, female superheroes in it. Like, if we're literally saying that just women existing and being in prominent positions is woke now, Top Gun Maverick was kind of woke.
Take a look at this.
Is there a problem, people?
We were just discussing ideas of what to do with the new Prince Eric movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
Maybe we should go a different route than we did with Indiana Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones, put a chick in it and make her name it gay!
Sure, yeah. Well, let's try that. Again.
Kathleen Kennedy is down on set right now ruining the new Bambi movie.
Put a diverse woman in it, make it gay!
Bambi's a baby deer.
Fuck baby deer, put a chick in it, make her gay!
Now, the thing about South Park, as Meghan and Harry can tell you, is that through their comedy, they often absolutely nail the truth. Esther, your thoughts?
Well, I think that the argument that they've not been making enough independent films, and that's why they've been flopping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like that's the thing though. It's like if you add in the lame and gay part, sure. If you make any movie lame, it's gonna be lame. If you put a chick in it, and if you make her gay, but it's a good movie, then it's deuces. It's cool. So it's like I kind of agree where that guy's coming from. Where it's like I disagree that people are like sick of franchises or that they. Or that they just need original movies, because listen, that's absolutely not true either. There's a lot of original movies that come out. They do not make a ton of money. I really just think it's a quality thing. I think that's really the gist of it.
Well, the independent films that they have made have also flopped because they've not been focusing on storytelling. They're always thinking, how can I have a transgender Muslim black woman in there? And they've stopped thinking of...
Show me the movie with the transgender black Muslim woman. What movie is she talking about? I want to see this.
About storytelling, because they actually look down on the audience that they're targeting. I also think there's another dynamic here, which is actually the media. So the media works against them. So if you actually just wanted to tell a story and the entire cast of that film was white, even before you watch the movie, all the promo will just be saturated by these sort of pink news articles saying, oh, it's sexist, it's homophobic, it's transgender. So even before the film comes out, you have media working against you. So in that, and the media will be easily disseminated. So that will kind of kill the buzz before anyone bothers to watch the film. And I think that's the issue. They've stopped respecting the audience, and they feel the need to preach to them.
I just think that's so.
I mean, media is a lot of media is dumb for sure. like there, I don't think you can really deny that a lot of media is dumb, but I don't know. Like, is a pink article saying that a movie's sexist? Does that, like, I feel like it's obvious that that's kind of stuff doesn't affect movies really. like remember Joker? Remember when the Joker movie was coming out and there were like all these articles that were like, this movie is appealing to incel whatever, blah blah blah, and it's like, and most people were like, shut up, the movie looks cool. I don't, like, again, I just don't know that people ultimately care about this sort of thing.
Oh, right. I just think Disney should go back to what they're good at. It's a fantastic company that used to make fantastic movies and hardly ever had a flop because they knew their audience so well and they didn't attack their audience. Sorry,
a lot of those movies were not sequels. A lot of those movies were not.
But going back to Black Panther, did Black Panther succeed because there were black people in it? No,
it was a great story.
It was a recognizable character that comic fans that I had been reading.
Yeah, okay, hopefully he doesn't fuck this up here. But, yeah, okay, hold on. Okay. Black Panther was a pretty, like, that was, like, kind of a cultural moment. I mean, it was, let's be clear. But, so I do think that there are a lot of people that thought that it was cool. But yes, you got to make a good movie at the end of the day. But I think the thing that the guy is arguing is that a movie is not going to succeed because there are black people in it, but it's also not going to fail because there are black people in it. So I don't know. Well, we'll see where he goes with this.
Since I was 6 and 7 years old,
and the thing is, they tried to replicate.
Also, Black Panther is not a fucking recognizable name. General movie-going audience, they did not have any idea who the fuck Black Panther was.
Same exact formula for Black Panther with the second one, and it made half as much. Clearly,
half
people
as
were
much.
Wait, what?
Since I was 6 and 7 years old.
And the thing is, they tried to replicate the
followed
same exact formula for Black Panther with the second one, and it made half as much. Clearly,
half
people
as
were
much.
Formula for Black Panther with.
Dude, the Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I don't think people understand how much of a. Sorry, I wanted to hear more clearly, but Nerdrotic was speaking over him. I don't think people understand what a monumental success Black Panther Wakanda Forever was. The lead actor was not there. The lead character was not in the movie. For them to be able to still succeed and make as much money as they did is a fucking phenomenal accomplishment. And I think it just speaks to they made a quality movie. So
Exactly.
One, and it made half as much. Clearly,
half
people
as
were
much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I want to be clear.
And no one talks about it anymore.
In his statement, I want to be clear that Peltz did say in that interview that basically argued that the Marvels and Black Panther, he didn't even want to get Black Panther made. And in Iger's book that he came out in 2019, he referenced that they had to fight to get Black Panther to come out.
That was Ike Perlmutter, not Nelson Peltz.
Why? You're right. You're right. Why?
Who's backing Nelson Peltz? Why?
Right. Why?
They didn't think it would sell action figures, and he was obviously wrong on that one. And he didn't want Captain Marvel made either. But there's a lot of fishiness around Captain Marvel. And then when the sequel came out, which was the most predictable flop of all time, it flopped. It was their biggest flop. They didn't put any effort in it because they didn't put any. If you watch Captain Marvel and read the books that she was based on, she was Carol Danvers. She was Miss Marvel. She was a likable character. They turned her into a dude. And Kevin Feige is the one who put out the edict. He said, we're going to make half of our characters women. That's where the MCU comes from. I didn't create it. Nobody created it.
Did he say that? Also, but you know what? Bro, you know what the funny thing about the MCU is? Like, Marvel, they Marvel, they went through like a fucking straight white male character speedrun. And to be fair, I think it is true that that Kevin Feige did want to make like I think a Black Widow movie and a Black Panther movie, and Ike Perlmutter stopped him. But in effect, they went through like a straight white male speedrun. And it's like, and then finally they were like, fine. I guess we'll make a Black Panther movie and a Captain Marvel movie. So it's like, even like, let's just say that they do have like an edict or whatever that like half of their characters are going to be women. Do they really have a choice? like what don't like after you've used up all of your like major characters, like how much deeper into the fucking Marvel lexicon do you have to dig up to find more like viable straight white male characters? I don't even like, even if you're a super woke person, I don't even think you can give Marvel credit because it's like they started making like non-straight white male movies after they ran out of them, basically. So I don't know. Maybe Kevin Feige does have that edict. But also like I also feel like they kind of have to do that at this point.
Created it. Kevin Feige created it. He's the one who said, I'm going to put down this edict and I'm going to start checking boxes. And that's exactly when they started failing. Right?
Did he say that half of their movies have to be women? I mean, I don't know if we can find this quote. Kevin Feige, half female lead? I don't know if anything's going to pop up. Kevin Feige reveals that he envisions a time when more than half the superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are female. Oh my gosh. But as the plan goes forward, I think frankly we'll be, eventually I think we're going to reach a time where it's not just, listen, it would be amazing to see all our female characters the way we have seen. Why are they like, I feel like this isn't the entire quote. See all our female characters the way we have seen, most, never all male, but primarily male. See all our female. Does he mean that the movies have been primarily male? I think that's what he means. I think we're getting to the point soon where we have so many great female characters that those are just our heroes, as opposed to when they are all female, all male. It's just the Marvel heroes, more than half of which will be women. The comment from Feige is clearly, he envisions a time when people have stopped talking about whether Marvel heroes are male or female, and when at least half, most likely more than half, are women. Right now, Marvel is nowhere near that point. Female superheroes still in the minority in the MCU. I mean, I don't think that's like a... I don't think that's like necessarily like the most like unreasonable quote. Like he says that eventually, I think we're getting to the point soon where we have so many great female characters that those are just our heroes, as opposed to when are they all... This is just like... Like, I wonder if he's getting to what I'm talking about, where he's like, listen, guys, we used up all the guys. Like, we're gonna get to the point where it's like, we don't have any other viable fucking characters. So yeah, like most of them are gonna be women. Like, I wonder if that's kind of what he means. And I also like what he's saying here, where it's like, yeah, listen, I hope we get to a point where it's just like, these are just the characters that we have, and that it's not a big deal. That it's like a female superhero, which honestly, I wish we could just get to that point already. Can we just speed run to that reality where, by the way, I'll criticize like companies, like the studios, as well as like the media. Like, it's really fucking annoying whenever like a movie comes out and it's like, this is the first DC movie to have a Mexican superhero, like when Blue Beetle came out. Because it's like, I don't know, like as a Mexican myself, I get fucking anxiety, right? Thinking about like, fucking, why do we have to be the fucking, why does this have to be the Mexican movie? What? And so like after like Blue Beetle bombed, it's like, okay, you guys fucking branded this as the Mexican movie. What does that tell us now? That fucking Mexican superheroes can't sell tickets? I do find a lot of this stuff, a lot of the obsession over this stuff annoying. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, is Kevin Feige pointing to like a secret plan to make all women heroes, or I feel like he was kind of getting at what I've been talking about, where it's like, hey, listen, we used all our fucking we used up all our male heroes, so yeah, we're gonna get to the point where it's like, yeah, most of them are gonna be women once we start getting to new characters, but hopefully people just view them as the superheroes and not as the women superheroes. I don't know, we'll see.
Right after Captain Marvel, it's been all downhill from there. Very few of their movies have made money because the budgets have blown up beyond.
I mean, that's probably slightly accurate. Where it's like, yeah, like the budgets are undeniably insane. Oh god, I fucked myself up here. Oh no. Okay, I'll just do this. Okay. But I don't, dude, when you're making $700 million, like $800 million and $900 million, I'm pretty sure they've made money.
We don't even know. We just learned that Doctor Strange cost around $300 million without marketing.
But by the way, that's
is
not the
that
same
true?
thing that they did to Barbie. Can I just point that out? I know comic books are not as popular as Barbie, but I'm a huge Barbie fan. And the people who made Barbie didn't bother to watch one of the 47 animated Barbie films. If you actually are a fan of
What? Aren't those movies like famously terrible? Barbie of Swan Lake. Is this what the Barbie movie should have been fucking based off of? It's a 60% audience score. See, you know what's funny? It's like these people are anti-art, man. Where it's like listen, if they wanted to make Barbie like a fucking princess or whatever, oh Jesus Christ! Ah! Oh my God! She's kind of bad though. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you wanted to make like a fucking Barbie like Disney princess, oh my God! If you wanted to make like a Barbie Disney princess movie, you could do that. But this is the other part of this where it's like the lack of like openness to just creativity is kind of disappointing as well. Where it's like, maybe you didn't like Barbie. If you don't like Barbie, that's fair. That's fine. It's your opinion. But it's like the mentality of, and they shouldn't have made it like the way they did. It's like what? That's like such an anti-art, anti-creativity mentality where it's like, or maybe like why not have the mentality of Barbie? They were ambitious with Barbie. I didn't think that it turned out particularly well. Hopefully in the future, but it could have been better. Like why not have the mentality of they were ambitious with Barbie, and it could have been executed better. Like why have the mentality of they shouldn't have made the movie that way? It shouldn't have had a feminist message. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. It's just like that's also just like such a weird mentality to have. So I don't know.
The Barbie film that was produced last year and made all that money, it was a complete abomination because they didn't even bother to actually do any research.
All right, you're not supposed to bring up Barbie, okay? That goes against your argument.
This is the thing. They have activists instead of filmmakers. That's the problem. And no one wants to watch something that's preachy and boring.
Candace Owens Jr., listen.
Oh God, that's gonna go bad. Oh no. Oh God. Oh, okay. All right. That's so unnecessary, bro. Why would you? Okay. I don't co-sign this, okay? I don't co-sign calling a black person. He's basically calling her an Uncle Tom. That's toxic. That's cringe. I don't like that.
It's not a flop.
It's a flop.
Barbie did the thing. Barbie.
But he is right. He's not wrong. If you're saying that Barbie is guilty of everything that you're talking about, it didn't flop. Clearly, there are other factors that go into a movie flopping than just it was woke. It's almost like, because you can think that Barbie was bad, but most people do not think it was bad. Clearly, or at least I feel like, the thing that people care about the most is just, is it a good movie?
Barbie was an abomination.
And so all this argument about woke and this, at the end of the day, it was a fresh, original concept. People want to go see diverse films, but they also want to see things.
No, they don't.
So there was nothing diverse about
People want to see
Barbie
good
here.
films.
It's
They don't care about
And
diversity.
Barbie
They
had
don't
nothing
care.
to
I think he probably meant like diverse in terms of like creativity. I don't know that he necessarily meant like like different races or sexes or whatever.
To be clear, Barbie was not a film about diversity.
Oh no, that's like Piers Morgan's trigger. He like hates Barbie. He thinks it's like man hating, which I don't understand how. I don't understand how you can watch Barbie and not understand that that's like a pro male movie in a lot of ways. That's so weird to me.
It was a film bashing men, attacking the
wasn't.
patriarchy, and saying that all the good things in the world are female. And the only funny thing about it was at the Oscars.
It didn't say that. It didn't say that at all.
It was all about Ryan Gosling. Ken had the last.
You know what's like? Okay, so here's the thing about Barbie that like a lot of people just don't understand. When they talk like in the Barbie land, the institutional power that the Barbies hold, that's just like an analog for the patriarchy that undoubtedly used to exist in America, right? And in a lot of parts in the world today. It's an analog for the patriarchy. So clearly what the movie is trying to say is that societies that are structured like that are bad no matter what gender holds the power. And then people will say, but at the end of the movie, the Barbies remain in control. And yeah, what the movie is trying to say there is that these issues can't just be fixed like that. Like, you can't just have like an uprising like that and like fix these issues. It has to happen slowly and naturally. Like the movie ending with the Barbies still in control. That's not them saying that like this structure is good now. I don't know. I don't know. At least that's how I view the movie. I guess maybe people just view it differently.
last laugh as Margot Robbie
That was the
sat in the
irony.
seats,
It's called satire.
unwanted
It proved the point.
and unattended. And I love Margot
And
Robbie, but let's
audience loved
not
it.
pretend what Barbie was. It was a box office smash, and as Esther said, an abomination, a man-bashing abomination. Talking of abominations, let's come to Joker 2.
But yeah, like you can call it an abomination, but if you're gonna say that it's representative of what everybody doesn't want to see, you're running into a contradiction there. I don't know.
Musical. It's been announced that the sequel to Joker is going to be a jukebox musical co-starring Lady Gaga with up to 15 lip-synced cover songs.
You have to pronounce it like Clayface from the Harley Quinn show. Lady Gaga.
My heart sank when I heard this. Critical Drinker, what did your heart do?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I mean, ultimately, it's all going to come down to the implementation. Potentially, there's a way you could make this work. When I
Oh
first
my
heard
god,
that this is
Critical
the
Drinker isn't like completely brain dead.
route they were going to turn it into a musical. Wasn't a fan, but I loved the first Joker movie. Told a great story. It wasn't mired in the comic book superhero movie genre. It was a story about a man gradually losing his way in society and a world that just didn't care about him. Fine, that sort of thing works perfectly, and it was great. Not sure I love this idea of turning it into a musical.
So it's funny. I think this interview came out before the trailer blew up. It's like the biggest, most viewed, I think, Warner Brothers trailer since Barbie. By the way, so these takes are aging like milk.
A little bit of confidence in Todd Phillips as a director. He clearly knows what he's doing with this, but whether or not they can make this work, it is debatable. I think
Esther, you think
we're going to have to wait and
all
see.
musicals are diabolical?
I despise musicals. I mean, to be fair, Baz Luhrmann has a hand in why I really hate musicals. But I also
Why?
think I don't really like his cinematic style, and what he did with Moulin Rouge I can't stand it. And it's not a genre I can take seriously. I think it works in theater, but it's just
La La
annoying.
Land was great. I
No,
watched
it
it with
was
my daughter.
awful. La La Land was horrible. It was
I love La La
unacceptable.
Land.
It was horrible. But I
It's
don't
woke. The woman had too much agency, Piers.
understand
Singing in the Rain. I mean,
the Joker
God, I mean,
character
really?
in a musical.
All musicals are terrible.
I think they're all
Singing
terrible.
in the Rain?
They're all awful. I can't
Bass.
stand it.
Nerdrotic,
I like the slavery
Nerdrotic,
now.
come in here. I'll come to you, Ernest. Nerdrotic, all musicals are awful. Discuss.
Oh, most of them are.
Yeah.
But there's a couple I like, but most of them are pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Just not my taste. But with Joker, I didn't think the first movie should exist, and then it became kind of a cultural event. I'm sure you remember the press around that was supposed.
Yeah, Joker is also hilarious because it's like these guys were talking about earlier. It's like the characters they aren't representative of the comic books. Like She-Hulk is a bastardization of what it was like in the comic books, and it's like, the fuck do you think Joker is? Joker is a complete bastardization of the comic books. Audiences don't care. They just want good movies.
To be some movie for incels, and I had to walk through a metal detector to go in New York to go watch the movie in America because of all the press that was around it, that was going to incite violence and all that crap, and the violence.
Yeah, it's like, again, this is just contradicting what the lady was saying earlier when they were like, you know, people write articles about these movies and they makes people not want to see them, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, if anything, when people write articles about movies complaining about them, it arguably helps them at the box office.
Happened at Frozen 2 and not Joker. Thought the movie was great. I didn't think it needed to exist because ultimately the Joker doesn't need an origin. But I really don't think this sequel should exist. I love Todd Phillips as a filmmaker. Not a big fan of Lady Gaga. So, yeah, I'm skeptical on this.
Okay,
one.
Ernest?
Musicals are touch and go, but I think people like something that is original and fresh, and we haven't seen it. But I wouldn't count Gaga out, and I wouldn't count Todd Phillips out. I think that the cast is going to really drive it. It already has a great interest in the public. I'm open, and again, I'm not crazy about a lot of musicals.
My theory about
remakes.
musicals, Ernest, is that it's a bit like music. It's like an album, right? When you listen to an album for the first time, it's very rare that I listen to an album once and think, oh, that was fantastic. They grow on me, right? You listen to the same song a few times and suddenly you're into it. And I felt the same about La La Land. First time I watched it, I didn't like it. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Second time I liked it a bit more. And the other night I watched it with my daughter.
You should watch Barbie again. I feel like you maybe didn't get it, Piers.
So absolutely loved it because I knew all the songs. You know, it's a bit like when you go to a concert. If they play their greatest hits at a concert, I'm a happy boy.
And it's also an original musical, which is my point. Like, you didn't see it on Broadway. It was made for the film. And so when you have, again, something that's different, people will watch it. Because if you're The Color Purple didn't do well, right? Because a lot of people was comparing it to Broadway, to the other movie. And so you have something to compare it with. Not everything can be Chicago, which I think is one of the best adapted musical to films ever, in my opinion.
Okay, let's turn to Sydney Sweeney, this cultural phenomenon, being called a double D antidote to woke.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what people are talking about when when they're like saying that like Sydney Sweeney is killing wokeness. The woke people hate Sydney Sweeney. It's like, what the fuck are we? What are we talking about anymore? What are these conversations about?
Canada's National Post posed the question: are Sydney Sweeney's breasts double D harbingers of the death of woke? And they summarize the argument by saying, we spent years being chastised for desiring or admiring beauty because beauty is rare and exclusionary, and to exclude is to hate. Also, we've been scolded to accept by today's diversity, equity, and inclusion fanatics. We aren't supposed to admire Sweeney's beauty, but we've done it anyways. The times, they are a-changing. Critical Drinker, are they changing? Has Sydney Sweeney's cleavage basically spelled the beginning of the end of woke?
I just love the idea that Sydney Sweeney's breasts have somehow become a political movement. I mean, that's the one aspect of politics I can definitely get into. But no, I mean, from this point of view, I don't know. There's been so many attempts to redefine beauty standards and foist different ideas upon us, but ultimately the heart wants what the heart wants, I suppose. And when you see a young, attractive woman who's well endowed, shall we say, guys are going to like it. We're relatively simple creatures, and we're not all that difficult to please. And people are appreciating it. Sydney Sweeney herself seems to be very much aware of the attention that she's getting.
I mean, like, okay, what are these arguments? Okay. Female-led movie, bad, woke. But Sydney Sweeney in movie, good, hot, because hot. So is Madam Web woke or not woke? I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. I don't know. What are we talking about? I'm so confused. Like, it's also like, I thought. Well, okay. Well, maybe these are like separate groups of people. Because it's like, aren't like the conservatives supposed to be like pro modesty or something? But now like hotness is like a right wing thing. But maybe like anti woke people aren't necessarily conservative. I guess that could be a thing that that's a distinction that can be made. But it's like but it's like woke people are like pro OnlyFans and stuff. Like who? Nobody's saying that like who's out there saying that like Sydney Sweeney can't be hot and that people shouldn't think she's hot? I don't know. I don't know.
And because of this, and she's happy to play into it, and as she should.
I don't think it's only. By the way, it's not only guys, is it, Esther?
I mean, I'm a tittyologist. I love boobs. I love nice boobs. I'm a bit jealous though because I feel like Sydney Sweeney and I are boob twins. But she gets all the double D attention, but I don't. Maybe because I'm not dressing like I'm auditioning to be a witness. Anyway, but
if you haven't seen Esther's pole dancing on her Instagram, by the way, you haven't lived.
I think look, she's unapologetic.
She's a breakout pole dancing sensation waiting to happen.
Well, I don't know, for my parents' sake. But look, I love that Sydney Sweeney's leaning into her femininity, her beauty, maybe a bit too much because I see a lot of boobs. But anyway, And men like boobs. It's not groundbreaking.
All right, Nerdrotic. I mean, I always think that the movie game in particular should have a premium on beauty. I don't want to see too many ugly people on screen. Sorry.
No, that's the problem we've been having is we have a lot of ugly people on screen. I don't want to identify.
Current screen accepted, obviously.
Current screen.
We're not
silver
actors,
screen. Yeah, I don't need to see myself reflected. I don't see some middle-aged, recovering alcoholic on the screen all the time. I don't. I want to see heroism. I want to see beauty. Yes. I want to see something to aspire to, something we normally don't see. Look what they did to Kelly Marie Tran in The Last Jedi. They completely uglified her, and she's a pretty girl.
Did they? Was she ugly? What? Did they make her ugly in that movie? Hold on. I'm gonna get to the top of this waterfall, and we're gonna do an examination. That's like so... Hold on. Kelly Marie Tran. The Last Jedi. Is this ugly? What are we... I don't know. I think she's kind of cute. What? How did they uglify her? What are we talking about? This is such a... she doesn't look any different from how she looks like in real life. What? Okay. Yeah, if you say so.
Girl. And they've been doing... they put a piece of metal over Scarlett Johansson's boobs in Endgame. That should be a crime.
Yes.
These are things...
That should be a
crime. They need to be free.
I agree. Ernest, it should be a crime. I agree.
So misogyny aside, I think that trying to
misogyny to admire the female form. Ernest.
You have some kind of
Since when did fancying hot women be misogyny?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily misogyny. I don't know. Fucking define misogyny.
I'm moving on. The try to make it like this thing against the woke, I think again is forcing a culture war that's just nonsense. But I will argue this, that if they think
that's very much
Sydney
true.
Sweeney is the antidote to wokeism, then I would say that Taylor Swift is the person that's countering all of that.
She has no boobs. Well, she got a boob job, but what are you talking about?
That's the point. That's the point. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's... This lady keeps on, falling into the traps that he's, setting up. I don't know if he's I don't remember if he's the guy that brought up Barbie, but it's Barbie was brought up, and the lady was like, Barbie's an abomination! It's woke, blah, 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 blah. And then it's but it made $1 billion. And then now he brings up Taylor Swift. And she's like, what? Taylor Swift has no boobs? And it's Taylor Swift is the next Michael Jackson in terms of popularity and success.
She is the antidote, that type of narrative. She's successful. The right used to love her until she basically became to them woke, which is nonsense.
It's not her boobs.
And now she's out here getting good
it's her attitude too.
On Disney Plus.
It's not misogyny to like boobs, by the way. I like boobs.
And by the way, I think as Nerdrotic just pointed out, with Sydney Sweeney, it's not just about her cleavage. It's about the fact she's worked out what to say that is going to resonate with people in a way that is now leading this debate. And good on her.
Not her acting.
What did she say? What did she said? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think that Sydney Sweeney is kind of a terrible actress. Now, to be fair, I have not seen Euphoria, okay? I have only seen her in Madam Web and Anyone But You. I don't think she delivered strong performances in those movies. But maybe when she's in a movie that she's maybe taking a bit more seriously, maybe she's good. I don't know. Maybe was she in The First Omen? No. There's a horror movie that she put out. recently.
Her
And her
nominated
acting,
performances.
and her beauty,
Oh, okay. I
and-
wanted to
and-
put her talent out there. I just wanna
acting,
speak on her
talent, beauty,
Okay.
and an attitude that is resonating. And she's a breath of fresh air.
What is her
Thank God
attitude?
for Sydney Sweeney, and thank God
I don't even know what her attitude is. Can you like elaborate?
for Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, Esther, and even you, Ernest. Even you. Thank you all very much for a spirited debate. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Change the title of your book, Ernest, for God's sake, man.
It's working.
Yeah, honestly, like I like listen, the Ernest guy says a lot of things that I don't agree with. I think it's like insanely fucking cringe to like when like a black person is disagreeing with you to be like, "Oh, you're an Uncle Tom." Blah, blah, blah. Like let's be real. That is what he meant when he called her like Candace Owens. That's insanely fucking cringe. I mean, honestly, if that lady had like blown up at him over that, I wouldn't have even blamed her. But like, I think the one thing that he talks about is very much true, where it's like we're at the point where we're just looking to make anything a fucking cultural conversation. Like Sydney Sweeney is now a cultural conversation, and she's apparently anti-woke. What are we talking about? Like, since when are like woke people are like pro sex work and OnlyFans and sexiness? What? Nobody is mad at Sydney Sweeney for being hot. So I agree with all of that, and yeah, I also just maintain that like, I think that when it comes to like Marvel movies and stuff, they just need to start making better movies again. I mean, that's it. Like, make better movies and people will come. I kind of stand firmly on that point. And I also think another factor that then just I think needs to be brought up is that I do think that like when they made Disney Plus, oh shit. When they made Disney Plus and they like heavily branded they like very successfully branded all of their movies to be immediately recognizable as Disney movies that are going to end up on Disney Plus. I think that hurt them. I genuinely think that hurts those movies at the box office. So yeah, I don't know. I also just maintain that I don't think that most people in the general audiences like really care about this kind of thing. I think they just want to watch good movies. I think that's it. I think Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is pretty evident of that, where I think that with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we saw like the kind of the downfall of the MCU in certain respects, where it was like people were finally just got fatigued by how bad the movies were. And they're like, yeah, I'm good on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I only saw like that was gonna happen again with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Like, that movie opened up to not a great opening weekend for an MCU movie, right? I think it only opened up to like $100 and something million. But word got out like, hey, this is great. This is like not just one of the, this isn't just the best MCU movie since Endgame. It's like one of the best MCU movies, period. It's an incredible film. And word got around, and people were like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out then. And then The Marvels comes out. It looks terrible. And people are like, okay, well, this is the Marvel stuff that we're not that we're not jazzed about. This is and then the movie comes out. Oh, it's bad. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not interested. So I don't know. I don't think that but I just don't think that people went into that, or like I just don't think that the decision making was woman in movie me no watchy, or black person in movie me no watchy. I just don't. I don't think that that's really evident, in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you think. about any and all of the topics discussed today in the comments down below. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.